Hello, I'm Sam Kerr. I'm a principal product manager here at GitLab, and today I'm going to be talking to you about our upcoming 13.3 release and what the Fuzz testing group is going to be focusing on during it and what we're expecting to deliver at the end of it. And so I'm sharing my screen right now, and this is the Fuzz testing planning board. This board's public if you want to follow along at home or look at the individual issues. And I wanted to go through some of the main things, the main use cases that we're focused on for this iteration. In previous iteration, we released our bare minimum preview release of coverage-guided fuzz testing to really give you a taste of what you can do with fuzz testing. And with this release, we're going a step further. One of the things that's really important in fuzz testing is not only to do new tests, but also to learn about previous tests and the results that they showed. This is typically done using what is called a corpus, or a record of all the previous test cases that you've run against an application, so that you can use those as a seed for new tests as you deliver new versions and test new versions of your application. You can see the two issues on the board here that I'm sharing, and I'd like to go through each of these, but these are really both focused on corpuses and making that an easy to use part of the fuzz testing workflow. So let's jump into the first one. So our first one we have is about reusing a corpus from a previous job run. So what we're going to be doing as part of this issue is, at the completion of running a fuzz testing job in your pipeline, the corpus that's generated during that test will actually be saved as an artifact from the job and attached to that pipeline. Then when you run a new fuzz testing job, that job is going to be smart enough to go back and look and see if a previous corpus artifact exists. And if it does, it will use that corpus as an input to automatically have all sorts of great testing information that it found in the previous run, rather than starting from scratch. This is going to be great for you because it's going to mean your fuzz tests are going to be faster, and they're going to be more effective since they won't have to relearn everything from scratch each and every time they're run. And so we're really excited to be bringing this issue to you. We think you'll really like it. Moving to the second one, this is also related to Corpus support. And so what this is about, it's about giving you a little bit more customizability so that as you're working in your application, you know your workflows best, and we want to make sure that the ability to use a fuzzing corpus can be done regardless of what that workflow looks like. So what this issue is all about is it's going to allow you, as part of your CI job configuration, to say, I want my corpus files to be read from this location and stored at that location. So this is issue 217610 if you want to read all the details. But this region of text that I'm highlighting here, there will be something very similar to this snippet that you'll add to your CI pipeline configuration. You'll specify where you want those corpus files to live. And then the fuzz testing jobs will be smart enough to respect that in terms of picking artifacts up from that location, as well as saving them to that location. And so those are the two issues I really wanted to highlight on this board today. Notably, these issues are both marked deliverable. This means that we're really confident about what we've decided to work on for the 13.3 iteration with these issues, and we're very confident in the fact that we'll deliver these at the end of the iteration. And with that said, I'd like to move on to another planning board we have, which is where we track what we call stretch issues that are labeled with the stretch label. And before we dig into these, I want to be clear that the stretch label means that we think we have a good chance of completing these, but there is a reasonable chance that these will be larger than we're expecting. Maybe there's some uncertainty, some unknown about them. And so they might move to the next or subsequent iterations as we really dig in deeper to these. So with that said, let's talk about what these are. And both of these issues relate to our API fuzzing and API fuzz testing capability that we're working on. If you're familiar with what we did in 13.2 with coverage guided, these are going to be very analogous to those issues. And so let's dig into the first one, which is all about fuzzing the application given an open API v2 definition. So one of the key things about behavioral fuzzing is that you're testing what an application should be doing compared to what it actually does do. And the way that in GitLab, we're going to be allowing you to tell us what it should be doing is with an open API specification. This specification file details out all the various endpoints and how to interact with them as part of your app in a RESTful way. And we can actually take that specification file and generate all of our various fuzz test cases using that. So as part of this issue, what this is really about is taking that specification file being able to put that in your CI job configuration, as I've highlighted on the screen here, including our fuzzing template, and then the fuzz testing job being smart enough to see, okay, this is the specification file that I need to be testing against, and starting to run those fuzz tests automatically using your specific application's logic and specification. And so that's what this issue is all about. Let's talk about the second one because they're very closely related. Whereas this issue that we just talked about looks primarily at the underlying engine and actually running those tests, this next issue is about how you as a user can actually download and view those results. So what we're doing with this issue is finding a way to present the information that we're going to learn as part of running these tests back so that you can act on it, so that it's actionable and you can fix any of the issues that are found. The way that we're initially approaching behavioral fuzz testing is by taking all the results that we get from the test runs and outputting those as a JUnit format. Because we're outputting these in JUnit, we're able to take advantage immediately of all the great JUnit user experience features that GitLab offers today. Specifically, after running an API fuzz testing job in your pipeline, there's going to be a test tab, just like you would have for any other application that uses JUnit to test it. And you'll easily be able to see all the various faults and pieces of information that the behavioral fuzz testing job was able to find. Something else we also hope to be able to work on as part of this issue is figuring out how we can integrate behavioral fuzz testing results in a way that's similar to what we're doing with coverage-guided fuzz testing. As part of this issue, to that end, we're going to be investigating, how can we surface these issues in the security dashboard? What makes sense? How can we provide these to you in that sort of security modal dialogue that you're familiar with in other security scanners, and give you a similar sort of workflow as what you might be expecting based on coverage fuzz testing as well as our other security scanners. And so with that, thank you for your time and attention. I've really enjoyed talking about the issues that we're going to be working on and focusing on as part of GitLab 13.3. Again, my name's Sam Kerr. If you want to talk to me on GitLab, my handle is STKERR, and would love for you to contribute to these or any of the other issues that you see on the board. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.